G'day guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Taking It Easy podcast. I've got a new member of the family. Birdie.
New member of the Taking It Easy family.
Birdie, say hi to the podcast.
Big
I don't know. Don't eat it. Don't eat it. Birdie's going down. Oh,
bro, Birdie is so cute, dude.
He's so cute.
He's the cutest dog.
I know, we love him. He's gone. But yeah, welcome back to an episode of the podcast, guys. We did not do a midweek one.
No, we didn't.
It's been a little bit hard with lockdown and everything. Rowan and I have really planned it. We want to do a live episode of the podcast, but we can't do it at the moment because we're in lockdown.
Exactly.
But we're here. We're doing a Q&A, and for the next week's episode, Sunday's episode, we have an amazing guest lined up.
And we have a couple of guests lined up for the next couple of weeks as well.
We do, yeah.
You know, it's not going to be just Q&A and conspiracies. We have guest guys, and they are awesome guests. So we're really excited to share those with you. But yes, today another Q&A with another Roachy and Rowan episode, I guess.
Exactly. But you know what? I think people enjoy it because, when we're talking to somebody else, you know, a lot of the time. It's not most of the time it's not about us, right? And sometimes people just like hearing us talk and stuff like that. So it's good to have a mix, I guess. But, you know, we've got you guys to send in some questions for us again. And, of course, Rowan and I will answer them.
And the fun thing is that I actually haven't heard these questions yet. So I'm just going to be playing them by ear, I guess, with my answers.
Exactly. And you know what? We also want to just see where the episode goes, not have too much structure, but obviously we'll use you guys' questions and feel free to send them in, guys. You know, we ask in our stories all the time and we get so many of you guys view them. Ask us good questions and we'll answer them because literally all the people who've submitted questions, we're pretty much answering them.
Yeah, and they're getting shout outs on a podcast as well. Who doesn't want to shout out on a podcast?
It's pretty cheeky. By two beautiful men with beautiful fades. Am I correct?
Oh, yes.
The lockdown trims have been getting... The lockdown trims are immense.
They are. We'll put something up so you guys can see how a lockdown has affected us.
Yeah. Well, I will say, not the best job. Where is it? Can you see it?
Yeah. It's a little wonky, but, you know, I'm proud of my effort.
Yours is incredible.
Mine is incredible, guys. I'll put a full head video up so you can see it. And that's a shout out to Luca Castellan.
The Ranger Thomas Shelby.
That's it. Castellan Cuts, you know, he's done a great job. So, I'm loving it, man. I'm actually loving it.
We love it. Big shout out first things first to people who submitted questions. The first one that we've got is a bit of a deep one. What is your deepest fear? And I know you kind of discussed this one on a previous episode. And wasn't it something like your deepest fear is not knowing? You're one of those guys who like structure.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
I know, that's the thing. I think we remember, we briefly talked about it on the podcast. You know, I'm not afraid of death, and I'm not afraid of dying because it's inevitable. Part of human nature. We're going to die anyway. But my actual fear is not knowing. You know, not knowing what's going to happen next week. You know, getting into a situation where I don't know what's going to happen. It's for me that's scary. You know, not knowing how I'm going to die, not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow, not knowing. You know, for me, that's quite scary is, you know, the unknown. You know, there's so much unknown, in the universe especially, you know, we literally don't know anything at all if we put it into perspective.
Yeah.
We really don't have an idea of what everything is. But I think you and I talked about it the other day, you know, when humans think of nothing, it's still something.
Still something.
Still something. When you guys think of nothing, what do you think of? Black. You know, a big black room, you know, nothing. But that nothing is still something, you know, because I feel like in our world and where we live, we can't comprehend the thought of nothing and not knowing what something is.
Yeah.
You know, as humans, we have to know what something is. And I feel like that can scare a lot of people. So that's where I think faith and religion can come into the conversation as well.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, people not knowing and feeling scared about, you know, what's going to happen after I die.
Yeah.
You know, they don't know what's going to happen after they die, so they choose to believe in a religion which says, I'm going to go to heaven or I'm going to go to hell. I'm probably going to go to hell. But, you know, that's the thing. I think people around the world have a, fear of not knowing. Man.
Yeah. I agree, man. I think, I know, all humans are born with the innate fear of death. And that's simply because, like, what do we associate with death? Nothing. And the human brain physically cannot conceptualize death, or no, can conceptualize death, but can't conceptualize nothing. Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like it kind of links back to like death, not knowing when we're gonna die,
exactly,
and not knowing like, you know, like when's the last time you're gonna spend with somebody, and things like that. And that's why we go to the phrase YOLO. You only live once.
I know. Well, I mean, that's the thing. I know so many people who are afraid of dying and who are afraid of death. But I think that, you know, it's I've said it before, the knowledge that we're going to die, which brings clarity to life, and, you know, wanting to achieve your goals, wanting to find love, and, you know, treating everyone with respect and nicely, you know, because you never know that, like, it could be the last time you see a family member or a friend. Like, you never know, which is scary. So that's why I think everyone should just treat everyone with respect and, you know, just be nice.
Yeah, 100%. For me, I have a completely different fear that's a bit of a weird one. I have a fear called emetophobia. Do you know what that is?
What is that?
It's a fear of vomiting.
Fear of vomiting?
Yeah.
Really?
I've had that for a number of years. Not many people know about it.
Did you have a bad experience with vomiting?
I did have a bad experience when I was like 11.
Oh, here we go.
No,
was this also in the cinema where you pissed
No,
yourself?
it actually, I mean, it wasn't that bad. Like, I mean, I was just like out in public in the city with my mum. And like when you feel sick, like you don't want to be around people in a public situation, right?
Yeah.
But like I had, like before that experience, I'd like never had another experience throwing up. So like the feeling, like, you know, when you feel like nauseous, it's like such a shit feeling.
Yeah,
I hadn't felt that before, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And it was really shit. And ever since then, I've just been fucking shit scared of it, because my sister was like mad scared of it when I was young. And I feel like when you're around somebody who's like really scared of something when you're young, you know, easily influenced, it kind of like reflects on you. I'm not like that bad. Like, it doesn't control my life, but like, I don't like being put into situations like going on a roller coaster or drinking too much alcohol, because it like puts me at risk of throwing up. But I've actually realized like, a lot of people actually have it. Like, it's actually not that discommon.
I mean, like the other kind of fear.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a fear or not, but of like chimps and monkeys. Right?
Bro, if you saw that Travis monkey that just fucking ripped that lady's... We shouldn't laugh, but it just shows like how fucking... Have you heard the 911 call? Yeah, dude, that is like one of the most disturbing things I've ever heard.
But I mean, like, it's not so much, you know, what they do, but it's just how close they are to humans. You know, if you look at their hands, they're literally human hands with hair on it, and their fingers and nails. It's literally all the exact same.
It's incredible.
It's so scary to think.
Well, we evolved from them.
Yeah, like that's what we came from, and now we're this. It's just so... It's freaky, dude.
Yeah, I agree. But like freaky in a bad way for you? Like, how do you find it like scary? Or is it kind of just like baffling? Like, what the fuck? We evolved from that.
I kind of find it freaky. It's because how did we manage to evolve from that? But then they also haven't evolved as well.
So you telling me that like a million years down the line, all these like current chimps will evolve into humans? And we'll become
cyborgs.
And we'll become like a there are like stages of humanity, right? Yeah. We'll like progress up a tier, and they'll be like down a tier.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. Like, why haven't they evolved as well? Why are they stuck in chimp form?
Well,
like you.
Don't we? People don't know that, but that's my nickname. Everyone calls me Chimp. No, well, that's the thing though, because if you're saying that, we share 90-something% of our DNA with a banana. So you're almost saying, why doesn't a banana evolve into what we are? Yeah, I'm no scientist, but like...
Bro, again, the knowledge of not knowing, it's freaking me out, dude. Why don't we know these things?
Yeah.
You know, like, why? Jesus, dude. I could go on about
You're a big, like, questioner, you know? You, like, love questioning the world.
I love questioning the world and the universe and everything. I'm sure you guys already know that by now.
Yeah, dude loves his science.
That's it, man.
I got another really, like, deep question. I don't know, you guys fucking love the deep questions.
It's like a therapy session, dude.
It really is. It's a bit of a interesting one, but I just want you to, like, respond based on this statement.
Okay.
Or question, should I say. What does it mean to be on a different level in life to somebody else? It's like, when you think of a level, what do you think? Like a video game or like...
I feel like if I'm gonna go with the answer off the top of my head, I feel like there is so many different factors that go into that, dude. You know, you could be on a different level to someone socioeconomically, financially. You know, you could be on a different level with someone environmentally, you know, living in a better part of the world that's not third world country. You know, you could be better than someone in an IQ test. You know, it might mean you're on a different level, you think about things differently. You know, there's so many different factors that I don't think any human's life can be better than another. I think they're all in perspective because everyone goes through their own.
But do you think that people progress at different stages? Like, let's say in terms of a relationship, let's say somebody is more mature or at a different level in their life compared to the other person, and like, what is that supposed to mean?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. You know, everyone's different. Everyone has their own feelings, and you know the way they feel about a person. If we're going to say in a relationship way, you know, one person might have stronger feelings than the other person a little bit more quickly or a little bit more earlier on. But I don't think that means that they're on a different level. Through their experiences, they might just fall a bit faster than the other person. Maybe the other person needs a bit of time.
Yeah.
Or certain things to be shown that, you know, oh, this guy or girl really is the one, you know? So I think it's all in perspective. You know, everyone goes through their own experiences and trials and tribulations in their life, whether that be small or massive. But I do feel like I'm not sure if you could say, you know, have a human be on a different level than another human without that human going through what the other one has.
Yeah. But surely it's like, as we get older, we gain more experience and see the world more. Wouldn't you think that that would mean that you're more like a higher level, like you know who you are and you're more, I guess, wise than another human?
I might use this example, right? So say with what you're saying, you know, you have you put an older person in the room who's, you know, traveled around the world and, you know, been in the workforce forever. Let's just say they're retired, right? You put them in the room, and then you put a teenager in the room, right? And you ask them to solve this problem, you know? Well, the retired person, they're gonna think about that in a certain way based on their experiences. But then this teenager might think of something completely out of the box and something completely different. Yeah. Which might actually work. Yeah. You know, so through everyone's own experiences, I think, you know, I'm really not sure if people can be on a different level to somebody else. I think it's all relative, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel like
yeah, what about you? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I know you've had your like fair share of, I guess, let's just talk about relationships with women, right? Because Rowan's had he's had a bit of bad luck. And don't you think that you're on a different wavelength to another person? I guess, I don't know if level's the right term, but like some people just aren't ready to commit. And surely that means that like, yeah, they're not on the same level, you know, they're not on the same wavelength. Do you kind of know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at it that way, I mean, you could say that people are on, you know, a different level. I mean, but that's the thing, that comes down to their own experiences and what they're looking for in a person, and you know what that other person does to have an impact on them. But I mean, yeah, I could agree with you. I've had my fair share of bad luck, but yeah, I think that's just like, I'm a super driven, outgoing, loud, eccentric guy, and like nothing can get in the way of me and my own goals, and like what I want. If I want something, I'm gonna go get it.
But that's the thing, you know, you're a bit of an old soul, but like stereotypically, you know, you think of people our age, we're naive, we haven't experienced the world. In reality, none of us really have. And you put a person who's 50 years old in the room, they've got so much more life experience. They're more set in the way how they act and the way how we feel. And us teenagers are kind of, you know, so many things we're hearing around us all over the place. And I think that's kind of what I'm getting from this question, is that, you know, a lot of people don't really know what they want, and they're not really set in the way how they feel. And sometimes you may feel that like you're on another level to another person because you know what you want, but they might not know what they want, or vice versa.
Well, I think if I was going to answer that question in like like a couple of sentences, I would say, look, people might be on different levels, whether that be financially, economically, you know, where they live, what they do for a job. Yeah, sure, people might be on different levels, but I feel like everyone always has a same common human experience.
Yeah.
You know, whether that be one massive loss or tribulation or challenge in their life. I feel like it doesn't matter how many different levels people are on with their work or where they live, blah, blah, blah. There's still those same basic fundamental human emotions, you know, loss. Oh, well, you're going to feel sad and you're going to feel, you know, unhappy and everything like that. Like, that just doesn't matter if you're Bill Gates or if you're Elon Musk, billionaires, compared to someone who's maybe living in, you know, a small village in Tanzania or something.
Yeah.
The doesn't completely different lives. They might not even know who the other is, but they will still have the same basic human
emotions.
Emotions
I mean, like you know, everybody, I guess I'd hope so, feels love towards a certain person. Everybody has felt happy before. You know,
they're those basic human emotions that doesn't matter where you are in life or what stage you are. You're going to have those same emotions and feel that way.
Yeah. He also says, like, you know, should you compare where people are? Is it okay to compare?
I think it's part of our human nature to compare. I really think that, because everyone has done it, compared themselves to someone else, compared their work to someone else, you know, compared their life to someone else. They're like, oh, wouldn't it be so good to have this and that? But I think it's a bad thing to do, compare, because when you compare, you start to think that your own life isn't that good and not that, you know, exciting.
100%.
But I think if you don't compare and just focus on your life and make your life 100%, then you won't have a trouble, man.
Yeah. I think comparing all links to, like, if you're comparing yourself to somebody, it's like you want to be like them, but nobody is going to be like somebody else. Have to understand that. You just have to blossom into the person that you were born to be, and
exactly right.
Create your own goals within yourself. So don't use anybody else as a guideline. Just use your own goals and your own beliefs and your own aspirations to grow into the person that you would like to become, is what I'd say.
Well, I mean, like, of course, I'm sure everybody's done it. Like, 100 boys want to be Chris Bumstead or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But, you know, just looking at those guys and seeing what they do, they don't care about what other people think of them. They don't care about, you know, who 1,000 men want to be like them. They put in the work and they do it for themselves. And that's why they can achieve their goals and get successful, because they're not comparing themselves to anyone else. They're just doing it. You know, and you could do the same in your life if you stop comparing yourself to other people. Yeah. And, you know, apply more effort into your life.
Definitely.
You can do things.
Yeah. Definitely don't do something for somebody else's validation. Do something for your own validation. Because I know a lot of people will get, like, be skinny and get ripped in the gym, or like be fat, lose a ton of weight, get ripped in the gym. And then they'll look back at it and realize that it didn't really come internally. There was an external motivation that I wanted to impress other people, which is good, but it should come internally first. You know, I want this goal, so I'm going to go get it. Not, I want this goal because I want to, you know, this person to like me, or so on and so forth. You know, if you want something, make sure it comes internally first. Yeah, exactly. So right. never compare.
Yeah, that was a good question. I like that.
Yeah, I like that question. Very, very good question. Okay, next question comes from Jordan from Nutmegs TV. Big shout out to the boys. He asks, how has being on YouTube changed your life in a positive way? Now, I guess for you, this can obviously like link to the podcast. For me, my own YouTube channel. What do you think so far in this, short 2-3 months of doing the podcast? How's it impacted you, man?
I found it really awesome, to be honest. Like, I didn't come into this for, you know, followers or fame. I just wanted to start a podcast talking about everything with my best mate, you know. So
I agree.
For me, it hasn't really affected my life too much. I feel like if it was to affect my life, it would be because I rely on the podcast and rely on views and likes, and this and that. But the podcast is just like a hobby, a side thing that I like to do. Yeah. So to be honest, it doesn't really affect my life too much. I love doing it. I love posting. I love talking to people, learning new things. I mean, I think that's just my nature. You know, I love getting out of my comfort zone, trying something new, and learning. You know, so for me, I've found it to be a great experience. You know, we are still a young channel. We're still starting off. But that's the thing. I've loved being able to see the podcast grow so quickly, thanks to you guys who have been watching the videos.
Incredible.
But it's just been amazing just to see all the support and comments and things that you guys like about the podcast. It makes me want to do it even more, you know? So for me, the podcast is definitely a motivating factor, to be honest, man.
Yeah.
What about you? Because you started YouTube 3-4 years ago.
Yeah. In fact, tomorrow is my anniversary for 4 years officially on YouTube.
That's so cool. Because I remember when you were just starting the channel, everyone in school was saying, "Oh, bro, you're gonna go nowhere. Like, there's no point starting a YouTube channel." And look at you now. You got like 4,000 subscribers.
Yeah, 3,000 at the moment, and I'm just getting back into it. And you know what? The one thing that I love about YouTube and the podcast is just the people. Like, you know, one thing about, like, you know, not being huge is that I can really get to interact with people kind of one-on-one and stuff like that. So I feel like I've made like a ton of friendships. Like, I mean, Tyler, who we're moving in with next year, I met through YouTube, and he lives up at Coffs Harbour. So I think it's crazy how, you know, I can interact with people not only, you know, up at Coffs Harbour, but from the other side of the world. You know, I have friends in the UK, I have friends in Turkey, I have friends in Ireland, I have friends in America, so on and so forth. I just think that's crazy. And we're hoping to get to that point of the podcast as well, where we can have a really interactive audience, which I'm sure like we already do, but we're hoping to build on that. But I think that's the one thing for me is that, you know, not only is it a hobby, and everything has to start it to be a hobby, like, you know, obviously I'm monetized on YouTube, so I've made a bit of money from it, but to me that's completely irrelevant, because I feel like as long as there's a passion there, like, that's all that matters. And we're just enjoying the podcast at the moment because there's a passion there, and like, you know, who wouldn't want to hop on a Discord call to your mate and just talk about life for an hour, hopefully in person eventually, and hopefully the guests in person eventually. But no, we just love it, and I found that it's good for my mental health, at least, because it gives me some structure during lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, it also opens your mind up to hearing different people's perspectives.
100%.
Like Neil Cavuto, a famous Fox News anchor we had on a couple of weeks ago, who would have known that he was struggling with MS and had open heart surgery and this and that? You know, it really puts things into perspective. Isaac Natoli again, you know, Bronwyn Smith. You know, we've had all these guests with their own different stories, so it really brings appreciation to your life and puts in perspective, for me at least. 100%.
And if anything, it's motivated me, because I've seen, you know, a lot of successful people and plenty more successful people who we've got planned to come on, and it motivates you to you know, grow into the person you want to be, because, you know, Rowan and I are still obviously so young, both 19. You know, we want to go out there and live our best life. We want to travel, see the world, you know, meet new people, etc., etc. So no, I think if anything, it's been honestly truly a great experience so far, and for my own channel as well, obviously. But the podcast has been really great, and it's just what I needed at the moment, and we have no intention of stopping at all.
No, none like that.
Yeah, so yeah, I'd have to say 100% good.
That's it, man. I agree.
Yeah,
wholeheartedly agree.
Wholeheartedly agree. We've got another like debate. We're talking. What was it like? We're talking about like the basketball players one time. Like, you were proving me why LeBron was the GOAT.
Yeah. That's right.
Now I'm getting into F1. So, you know, people are asking people are asking the F1 questions, Verstappen versus Hamilton, which is actually good, because I know there's a lot of F1 fans. They're a really growing sport, really competitive title this year, because obviously it's like neck and neck for who's gonna get the top spot.
To be honest, I think as much as Lewis Hamilton has, you know, been an icon for F1 and the sport and everything he's done for it, he's been incredible. But Max Verstappen, bro, he is on the up quickly.
Bro, I was watching a video the other day, and it was like, so based on the all-time point scorers in F1, they had them in like a starting 20 grid. Max Verstappen's only 23, and he's got to the 10th most points of all time.
Jesus, bro.
Don't you think it's crazy how like F1 drivers are like I think some of them like get
Oh,
signed
young.
on contracts at 17, 18. Bro, I'm 19 and I don't even have my driver's license. How does that make me feel? Like,
Bro, it puts into perspective.
yeah,
Come on.
you have to put it into
Up your game,
perspective.
dude.
I know. It's incredible. Like, yeah, no, I think Verstappen's incredibly talented. By the time we put this out, the Italian Grand Prix will just about to be to start.
For that question, are we taking them off their base value where they are now, or what Lewis Hamilton has done versus what Max Verstappen has done?
I'd say right now, like in terms of their ability.
I was
think
going to say right now, I'm taking Verstappen, Max Verstappen.
I'm as well.
But if we're talking about, their history, then it's Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton is, I mean, I'm not very like, I don't really know too much about F1, but based on the stats and what he's done, him and Schumacher are just like, the GOATs. But I think Verstappen has potential to be up in the mix eventually.
Oh, he will. I think so too, man.
Yeah, 100%.
And guys, just before we finish up the podcast today, it has been a short one, but that's okay, because we want to save it for next week with a couple of big guests. But no matter, because Pat and I, we've had a bit of a chat, and we're going to start this small little new snippet at the end of our mid-weeks, which is going to be Joke of the Week and Fact of the Week. It's going to be something fun, and then you guys
I'm scared.
Yeah, Pat's a bit scared.
I don't trust Ron's jokes.
Apparently, Pat doesn't trust my jokes, but I'm pretty confident in my jokes. I've got a pretty good repertoire. But no, it's just something fun, if you guys have a little laugh and, see if my jokes improve.
How offensive are they on a scale of 1 to 10?
0. They're not offensive.
On a scale of what's her name? Amy Schumer to Ricky Gervais.
Oh, Jesus. I'm on my own level, man. I'm on my own level.
Don't tell me you're above Ricky Gervais.
I'm just going to say I'm on my own level. I'll let the people decide what level I'm on.
All right. Go on then.
All right. So I don't know if you heard, I was reading the newspaper the other week, and there was this story that came up about this man that went to hospital. Did you hear about that?
No.
No, I didn't hear it.
Okay. No fucking clue. Yeah.
No clue. No troubles at all. So I was reading up, and I was getting into the story about why he was put into hospital, and the doctor said, he came into hospital in the emergency room and had 10 toy horses inserted, in his nether region up his bum. And so
that's a lot of horses.
I know. I was like, well, that's just a bit odd, isn't it?
That's respectable. So, I'm admiring that. That's
exactly right. And so it was funny because, I was reading down, and the doctor was saying, what happened, blah blah blah, some college frat party thing, right? Anyway, so I was reading a little bit more at the end, and the doctor was, he described his condition as stable. I reckon he was just horsing around.
No, don't do that as well. Don't do that as well.
Oh, shocker.
It was respectable.
Oh, that's a dad joke. Jesus, I'm getting my dad joke repertoire.
It was a bit of a dad joke. But that's the thing. Would you say that in front of your kids? Probably not.
Maybe when they were like 8 or 9.
He had 10 toy horses around his waist inserted in him. Yeah.
Guys, let me know what you think. 1 out of 10. Put in the comments. Let me know if you think that was a good joke or not.
I'm feeling a solid 5.
I can see my mate Luca. He's just laughing over there like this idiot. But no, Pat. Let's move on. Let's go to the fact of the day.
All right. Fact of the day. This is a pretty interesting one. So on the 7th of July, 1983, Antarctica recorded its lowest ever temperature.
Ooh.
Now, just so people get an understanding, how low does it get in Sydney in winter? Probably about 10 degrees during the day.
I'd probably say like down in Thredbo and Perisher where the snow is in Sydney, it probably gets to about, the coldest probably like minus 10 or 12 degrees.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah,
like that.
And, you go to even colder places, Canada, America, Russia. We can get close to
like minus 40, 50.
We can get close to minus 40, 50, especially in Siberia. So with that being said, Antarctica.
Here we go.
To get the exact coordinates, or not the coordinates, the elevation, 3,420 meters, which
not
is
that high up.
Which is quite high, but nowhere near like an Everest or whatever. No. Try minus 89.2 degrees Celsius.
What? Oh my god, bro.
Incredible.
889.
No, not 889. You idiot.
Oh no, 189. Minus
No, 89 degrees. Calm down. Minus 89. It's still absurd.
Bro, you're scaring me. Dude.
I'm not scaring you. I'm gonna check how cold it gets on Mars, because
Bro, that's insane. 89 degrees.
Yeah, 100%.
How is that? How can you like live in that?
Temperatures on Mars range from around minus 220 degrees Fahrenheit to 70 degrees Celsius. So this is 128 degrees Fahrenheit. So this is probably like a typical day on Mars, maybe. But then
a sunny day on Mars.
Yeah, although then it's saying Mars can get up to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So,
that's
respectable.
insane.
But then again, imagine being stuck in minus 90 degrees Celsius. Wouldn't be the most comfortable. Like, have you seen those videos on YouTube where there's like people who would like go outside in minus 40, 50 degrees that have like hot water, put in the air, and it just like becomes vapor?
It just evaporates, dude.
It's incredible.
It's insane, man.
Yeah. So I mean, a pretty interesting fact of the week. We can probably get a more interesting one. Well, I mean, that's a pretty interesting one in my opinion.
It's a start. It's a start of a new segment.
It is a start. Now I know it's only been a small episode, guys, which gives us reason to, guys, just send in more questions. You know what I mean?
That's it.
But we do have very good guests lined up. That we hope you guys are excited about. So the following Sunday's episode will be a really, really interesting one. This Wednesday, Rowan and I are working on a fun little episode as well.
That's very true. Well, guys, thanks so much for watching this this shorter version for your Sunday night. But yet again, thanks for watching, and we will see you guys soon. Take care and peace.
Take care, guys. Bye.